Don Day is on the phone with us. Don, good morning. How are you on this snowy Friday?
Well, on days like this, I have a lot of fun. I admit it. I like stormy weather.
You're killing me, man. You're killing me, Don. I think you're killing half of our audience. Okay, I think what a lot of people want to know is why in the heck did this, redevelop over the top of us, or what happened where this looked like it was going to be maybe a day in length, but then on top of that, it ends up hanging around here for so long. What's going on and why this storm is not moving out quickly?
Okay, this does happen this time of year. We call these cut-off low-pressure systems where they become detached from the main jet stream. So instead of a storm forming along the jet stream and just going on its merry way like most of them do, a lot of times, especially in the spring season, you'll get one that breaks off from the main jet stream and gets basically left behind. And so what you have is a big swirling area of air that's moist and unstable that just spins around on its heels. And what you have to do is you have to wait for something else to come along the jet stream and sort of pick it up and bring it out and take it out. The good thing about this, and really there's more benefit from this storm really than anything, although we've had all these problems with travel and it is not a nice situation if you want to be outdoors, but the water from this system is this is a multi-million-dollar storm in terms of what it's going to do for helping the agriculture, help the suffering snowpack a little bit, and is going to be very beneficial. With that said, though, when these storms get cut off from the jet stream, they'll meander, and they take a while to get out. And they also, as they spin, they are able to draw moisture up from the plain states, up from the Gulf of Mexico. And if you give a storm long enough to sit around here, you just start bringing air in that's very moist from the Midwest and bringing it back west into here.
We're visiting with meteorologist Don Day, who provides our weather here on KOWB, and his staff do a great job keeping you updated. We'll have updates all throughout the day. Now, of course, Don, when you get a cut-off low pressure, you mentioned something on your weather forecast, your detail one that we had earlier this morning about how with the quote-unquote upslope and the way this storm is tracking, that maybe here in Laramie we don't see as much snow, but we've already been hit pretty good. Why did you use that phrase in your weather forecast?
The reason I said that is when we get winds that are from the east-northeast here in Laramie, that downslopes. And a lot of times we end up in a little bit of what's called a snow shadow, to where we're still going to get snow, as I see bands of snow on radar still going through the Laramie Valley, and we'll have more today. So we're going to get more snow here in Laramie, but what you're going to see the biggest snow along the east side of the summit between Laramie and Cheyenne. You get up to the summit area, anybody that's listening up in the Laramie range, you're just going to get clobbered. We're talking a foot, 18 inches of snow. For folks west over towards Centennial, over towards Jelm, the air goes back upslope onto the east side of the Laramie range. So a lot of times you'll have a lot of snow around Centennial, the east side of the Snowies. You'll have a ton of snow up in the Laramie range, but not quite as much here in Laramie because of that downhill, downsloping wind. But this storm is so moist, it's overcoming that at times. Okay. And so a lot of times we'll get that snow shadow. We did see that a little bit last night and early this morning, but I tell you, a lot of the heavy snow that we're getting right now in Laramie, we're watching it. If you can watch the radar, it's actually coming in from the due east. It's going right down Interstate 80 from Kimball to Cheyenne and right here into Laramie.
Wow. And now, what is the path of this? I mean, is it just staying stationary, this cutoff low, or is it moving at all?
It's beginning to move right now, albeit very slowly. It's going to get a little bit of a kick. We call this a kicker. There's a system coming from British Columbia tomorrow that's going to help lift it and kick it out. But as it kicks out, it's going to kick out right over us. Okay. And so the counterclockwise spin is going to be right over Wyoming, probably all the way up into Sunday morning. So we're not out of the woods from this system producing occasional snow here till probably sometime mid to late Sunday morning.
Now, going back to your question about hitting up against the mountains, is that why maybe points west of us and north of us not quite getting as much snow? Because, I mean, I've looked at some of the YDOT road cams and radar, Rollins and Rock Springs, they're getting snow, but not as much. Up in Casper, last I saw, they weren't getting any snow this morning. We're kind of isolated here in southeast Wyoming.
Well, the focus right now is right here in the southeast, Laramie, Albany, Platte, Goshen counties down into northern Colorado. But as the day progresses, this moisture is going to get further back west, more towards Rollins, and it's actually going to get its way back up into Casper tonight and into tomorrow. As the storm begins to lift a little bit more north and east, there is going to be a little bit of shift to the north. But this type of storm is really the type of storm that really hits southeastern Wyoming and northern Colorado the best. This is sort of tailor-made to bring us a lot of heavy precipitation this spring, more so than the storms that tend to get Casper and Rollins harder.
Yeah, well, and it just seems like Laramie's been kind of the bullseye target for total snowfall so far. I don't know what you've had in terms of reports of snowfall around these areas, but it just seems like we've had some cold weather and some storms roll through here, but we have kind of got some glancing blows during the winter months. This seems to be more of the bullseye for Laramie this time.
Absolutely, and the about 6 inches of snow that we got with the initial surge with this was really more than most people got, and what we're going to be picking up today, tonight, and into tomorrow is going to just add to those totals. And you're right, if Laramie seems like it's been picked on with this storm, absolutely.
All right, so what are we looking at? You add up the initial snow that fell on Wednesday, and you're saying 6 inches was the initial report. What are we looking at by the time we're all said and done for total accumulation? Because I know some of that's hard to tell with some of this just melting right into the ground.
Well, that's right. If you were to go out and measure it with a ruler after it settles, it doesn't look nearly as impressive. But if you were to measure it as it falls, we're looking at probably another 3 to 6 inches additional falling today. Probably going to see another 2 to 4 tonight, and I would not be surprised if we pick up a little bit more with off and on snow tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow night, into Sunday morning. So if you were to add up these little chunks of snow since what came in midweek with the first wave, it'll be well over a foot and a half in many areas of the Laramie Valley, although it's never going to be that deep at once.
Right.
But what we are really concerned about more than inches this time of year is the water content. And when we look at how much water's in that snow, when you melt it down, it's going to be well over an inch, some areas upwards to an inch and a half, maybe 2 inches in some spots, which is just a godsend, because this is the time of year where if we don't get these slow-moving wet spring storms, it's a real concern for stock growers and fire danger and all those things as we get into the summer season. So this storm is going to be, as I started the program, it's a very beneficial storm despite all the headaches it's giving us now.
Well, Don, we thank you so much. I mean, and is really the snowfalls on this side of it, they're experiencing rain out on the plains. How much snow have you guys gotten, or have you gotten a pretty good mix over in Cheyenne?
Oh, no, it's been almost all snow.
Okay.
But you go not more than 5 miles east of Cheyenne, you drop down a couple hundred feet, it's almost been all rain.
Wow.
So really the snow level's really been about 6,000 feet.
Okay.
You get out to Torrington, Pine Bluffs, those areas, it's all just been a cold rain. So really it's Cheyenne, Laramie, those elevations above 6,000 feet that are really getting it.
All right. Don, thanks so much for your time this morning. I know you're a busy guy. I'll let you get back to it. All right?
Enjoy the snow.